The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN, 9 a.m. Eastern time, Monday morning. We got the markets barely positive. S&P's positive by 1 point right now, trading at 41.73. We had a little bit of volatility in both directions last week. A little bit of a consolidation taking place between about 4,100 and 4,200. This week, we might decide where we go. We got some big companies reporting earnings. We have Tesla today after the bell. We got Microsoft, Google, Starbucks, Visa tomorrow, Apple, Facebook, Qualcomm on Wednesday and Thursday. We get Amazon as well, to name a few, along with many others. Markets basically sitting at all-time highs, 41.73 right now in the S&Ps. Tech stocks ahead of their big week of earnings, basically bumping up against all-time highs. Interesting when you look at where we are, 13,921, basically right next to where we were trading in terms of the highs back in February, right bumping up against that level. Maybe we're bumping up against that level to accelerate higher on earnings. Maybe we're bumping up against that level to accelerate lower. We're going to find out this week between Tuesday and Thursday. We kick it off tonight with Tesla. As I mentioned, the Dow right now, Dow up 51 points at 13,991. And we have the Russell right now positive by 11 at trading at 2280. Russell, you're looking at a high back in March of 2366. So Bitcoin, quite the run Bitcoin has had over the weekend. You look at the volatility. We make a high April 14th. That is 2 weeks ago on Wednesday, the day Coinbase goes public. Since then, you sell off all the way down to about 47,000. We touched that 47,000 area again on the open today. To back things up, the high from January, you're looking at a high about 42,730. Be interesting to see if we come back and test that area. We had a lot of volume around that high of 40,000, whether it was in the beginning of January and also right in the middle of the month as well, before we really accelerated February 8th. Above that price point, but we bounced, and you're looking at an area of the next stop. I mean, you're talking about anywhere from 45,150, which is the lows in Bitcoin beginning of March, or potentially the highs we had of about 40,000. But Bitcoin catching a bid this morning. Crude down $1.06 at 61.08. Crude continues to hold up well above $60 though. Gold contract flat right now at 17.78. Gold really accelerating off of this 1,700 price point basically for the whole month of April. We're talking about from 1,700. We flirted with 1,800 last week. 1798.40 I have for the high of April 21st. Silver's up 9 pennies at 26.17. And we'll check on notes and bonds right now. You got the 10-year down one tick at 132.13. We're looking at a yield right now of 1.568%. Okay, over in Europe, you have the DAX basically flat, up about 0.1%, even less than 0.1% right now. The FTSE's up about 0.3%. CAC roll up about 0.3% as we weight our markets. S&P is up about 2 points at 41.73. All right, let's take a quick look at some of the companies with earnings. All right, Tesla shares. That's the daily. We're positive this morning. We'll put it on a 15-minute. Tesla's up about $12 coming into their earnings. You jump over in the Analyze tab. I love the one-day expected move. How about a $50 expected move for Tesla shares? Now, what's great is, so we've talked about it with Kevin Hanks. We talk to Kevin Hanks every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9:15 in the morning. They do their program, the TD Ameritrade Network, every trading day at 11 o'clock. This is a great week to check out that program, folks. I'm going to be watching it. They're going to be covering all the big tech stocks. You have a bunch of volatility priced into these equities, and you have a bunch of liquidity, of course, priced into these equities and options. If you're ever watching their program and you're trading options, if you're going to trade options, especially if you're ever going to trade multi-leg options, you want a lot of liquidity. Because what happens is if you're doing a multi-leg option trade, you really need a lot of liquidity to have a fair bid-ask spread within that particular spread that you've created. And I'm using the term spread twice, a debit spread, give or take, or the spread between a bid or an ask, something like that. But you want a lot of liquidity because there's so many different trades you can set up. You need a lot of liquidity on any equities. All of these equities that we're going to be talking about have a tremendous amount of liquidity built into them. When you look at the options we're talking about, so you have a $50 move for Tesla for the option event occurring tonight. For the event that's happening, the one-day expected market maker move, $49.27 on their earnings, coming out tonight, April 26th. All right, it's great. You go over the Thinkorswim platform. They are a sponsor, folks. But you get to look in terms of prior quarters. What has happened here? Implied versus historical volatility, the actual earnings per share versus the Wall Street projections, the trend lines. You get to compare what has happened in prior quarters. They give you the date of the earnings and the expected move. So $50 for tonight. And what's cool is if you just go to the weekly, $65. That's quite a move. You're talking about almost a 10% move for Tesla for the week. But as we know, right, Tesla, a volatile stock anyway, coming into an earnings event. We'll see how that plays out. We'll see if Elon talks about anything to do with crypto, Bitcoin. They sunk $1.5 billion into Bitcoin. Bitcoin's had quite a pullback. Is he going to double down on that? Is he going to pull back? I doubt he's going to pull back, but always something that come out on Tesla earnings with a $50 move priced in and $65 for the week on their earnings. All right, jumping around to what else we have happening in the market. We also get a Fed meeting this week, which is interesting. So Feds, when are they going to start tapering bond buying? Well, some people are speculating the fourth quarter. So we get a Fed meeting. We get a meeting. I believe they're going to come out with their announcement press conference on Wednesday. 45% of economists expect the Federal Open Market Committee, FOMC, to announce tapering in the fourth quarter, with 14% seeing that happening in the preceding 3 months. The survey of 49 economists conducted April 16th to 21st. Hawkish shift from March, when slightly more viewed tapering as a 2022 event. And it would make sense, folks. Things have exceeded expectations, right? I mean, the market is pricing in those exceeding expectations in a large way in terms of the trade that we've had higher. The vaccination has gone much better than many had anticipated. We've reached a point now, though, where we've kind of maximized the people who are out there trying to get a shot as best they can. It's going to be the focus on the people who might have some vaccine hesitancy to get over that hump. We really got to get things under control. You know, people want to get back to normal, and we're almost there. If you're vaccinated, you can definitely do things that we've restrained from in the last year, being around family, friends, other people vaccinated. But when you talk about large events, travel, all of that stuff, best way to do it, folks, is wear a mask, social distance, so we can bring down these numbers, because they're still pretty stark, even though the light is pretty strong at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, so you have some revisions in terms of expectations, and I would imagine the Fed, if we start seeing some acceleration, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with payroll numbers. When we come into non-farm payroll numbers, we saw an increase in terms of March. When do we start hitting 1 million? We got 8 million jobs to make up from the prior numbers prior to COVID. Market's going to be waiting for that. But when this service industry opens back up, the level of pent-up demand, almost immeasurable, in my opinion, in terms of what people are going to be anticipating and just wanting to do in life, right? Get back to life in a big way. But I imagine that Fed tapering, it's going to have to come at some point. We got a lot of jobs to make up, but people keep upping those expectations, and hopefully this service industry just explodes. And they have to taper before we all might have expected. And if they do, watch out in that market, folks, because we're sitting at 41.68. We saw a little glimpse last Thursday of how quickly things could pull back just on the news of potential capital gains increases. And I don't even think 50% is likely to happen with the makeup of this Congress. The market reacted pretty quickly. I mean, basically, it's priced for perfection right now. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back in 3 minutes. Give us a call.
Golden ratios give shape to everything in our world, represented in the Fibonacci sequence. These special numbers define the patterns that make up our universe. Not even markets can escape the omnipotence of these ratios. Larry Pesavento is a 45-year market veteran who has published nearly a dozen books on the powerful patterns we find in nature and their relationships with the ever-elusive markets. Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, will teach you to harness the power of these natural golden ratios in order to create successful trades. Fibonacci 24/7 is designed to teach the tools you need to identify and act on these undeniable and reoccurring patterns. Sign up for Larry's newsletter, Fibonacci 24/7, and you will also receive free access to his trading webinar, Trading Strong Trending Markets. Try out Larry's newsletter risk-free. All of TFNN's newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today.
Hey there, I'm Andy Arbertine with Tiger Precious Metals and Stones. Whether you're looking to buy and sell precious metals or trying to find the perfect diamond ring, I'm here to help. I have over 15 years of experience with diamonds and precious metals. You can call me directly at 727-329-8245, and I will personally answer any questions you have and help you find exactly what you're looking for. I will be your personal concierge in the metal and stone business. Give me a call today, 727-329-8245.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We have the S&Ps positive by 2 points. So just jumping back to the Fed real quick. So they do have the meeting Tuesday, out with the announcement Wednesday, press conference. No expectation, really, just to give some clarity there that anything's going to go on at this press conference. Chairman Powell has been very, very direct that they're waiting for hard, substantial data in terms of really payroll data, getting people back on the payrolls. My guess is that he's really looking at that 8 million people who are no longer on the employment rolls from the non-farm payroll number, and getting those people back to work before they start to taper or pause in any way. We're not even close to there. You had a big number in March. I believe it was 900,000. Where are we? It was on this chart somewhere here. Where were we? 916,000 was added the month. Tremendous number. You're going to have to see substantial continuation of that trend. More than 2/3 of the economists surveyed expect the FOMC will give an early warning signal of tapering this year. So you're talking about this year, folks. It's already about to be May. Just trying to bring the realization of there's going to be a battle here in terms of the economy rebounding tremendously, and the positive expectations in the market and stock prices from that. And then the wait that will happen the moment that the economy is doing well enough that the Fed decides to begin to taper some of the grand support that they are providing to this market for bond buying and rates and so forth. You'll see the bond buying be the first thing that they taper before they consider raising rates. But you look at it, the biggest number, 45% of economists think July to September. That could come from either the July or September meetings. Another option is the Kansas City Fed's annual late August Jackson Hole Economic Symposium, which has been used as a venue to deliver signals in the past. That's coming, folks. It'll be interesting to see how it happens. Fed seen raising rates in 2023 or 2024. Just keep it on your radar, because I think it's coming quicker than any of us realized. The rebound we've had in this economy has been quicker than any of us realized. The market acceleration has been quicker than anybody really expected, not realized. It's all been quicker than most people have expected. Hopefully, we're able to get back to life quicker than most expect. And if we get back to life quicker than most expect, the Fed's going to have to raise those rates and taper those bonds quicker than most expect. So we'll see how that plays out. When you look at the vaccination numbers, though, definitely an ebb in terms of the numbers. We're not going to be pushing 4 or 5 million shots anymore, folks. Doesn't seem to be the case at a time when we have vaccine hesitancy for the final 30 to 40% of the adult population right now. Still waiting to get the types of data available to allow vaccinations to proceed safely for 12 to 15-year-olds. But you're seeing the ebb in these numbers, and it'll be interesting to see how that ebbs and flows in terms of calming the virus numbers, which are still pretty substantial. You're seeing a lot of numbers in terms of younger Americans that are ending up, unfortunately, haven't been vaccinated, and still people are able to suffer some consequences, folks. The pandemic is still raging. There's still many people dying a day, and it's not about fear. You get vaccinated, you get back to normal life, folks. You can just do it in a way that might help us get over this hump a little bit quicker, and you wear a mask. It's one of the things I don't quite get about this whole deal is it's pretty easy to understand that nobody likes wearing masks, but you wear a mask, you do your part, we get over this. As long as, this thing is still spreading, the economy is going to struggle. And that's the raw facts of it. When you look at, so it'd be interesting to see how this all shakes out, right? The EU, they're going to allow vaccinated U.S. tourists this summer, the Times has reported. Exact timeline depends on the virus situation in the U.S., still to be determined. But it would make sense. You get vaccinated, you got 90-95% immunity overall. That's a statistic that they're looking for now, depending on the numbers. Again, if we're talking about 50 to 60,000 cases in the U.S., might not be the case. But I read an article this weekend in terms of we basically are about 3 weeks ahead of where Israel really started to see a drop in the numbers in terms of we reached a vaccination level of about 40 to 50% of Americans were approaching. And once Israel reached that level, in the following few weeks, they really saw a decline in cases because you start to reach a level of society that hopefully you start preventing more and more spread. So hopefully in the next month, we really start to see those numbers come down. Hopefully we reach more of those people who are a little bit hesitant for some reason to take the vaccine as we try and increase those numbers as well. But, that's a tough number, declining, but we got to keep going. In the EU, you're going to have to see it more and more. International travel, we all know the airlines, the cruise ships, they're nowhere near where they were prior to COVID. You're going to start to see, you talk about within the U.S., the battle is going to rage, right, in terms of a vaccine passport, et cetera. Tomorrow is my 2 weeks from my second vaccine. I'm still going to wear a mask, folks, around, because that's how you make sure that, I'm going to be fine if I happen to contract the virus, which is 1 out of 20 people who get vaccinated at 95% efficacy. 1 out of 20 people that get vaccinated in a country that we're talking about 200 million people are going to be vaccinated, right? That's a lot of people who get vaccinated that still can contract the virus. They will be fine. It might be asymptomatic because of the vaccine, but you can spread it to other people that may not have been vaccinated. Maybe you are on children who don't have the opportunity to be vaccinated. So you're seeing that in a big way that it still could play out. And it's so amusing, folks, that, I have people in the YouTube chat that they're saying goodbye, stop talking about the vaccine and the mask. Folks, this is the market. Would you not want to talk about life and how it moves the market? I don't understand the ignorance and the proud ignorance associated with it. You can do both at the same time. You can say, this isn't March of 2020, open things back up. Okay, we can be safe. We can all enjoy, a society that we've been locked down in for a solid year. But you can say that at the same time as saying, hey, people should be out there getting the vaccine so we can get over this thing. Hey, people should be out there wearing a mask if they can around large groups of people that you don't know. You can have normal, reasonable discussions, folks. Somehow that's lost the realm of possibilities somehow. You can do both. It is possible. All right. We'll look to the market open. We got about 5 minutes to go. Jumping into the S&Ps, we're catching a little bit of a bid coming into that opening bell. 41.76 right now, and the S&Ps up from 41.65. You see the rise, up about 12 points just in the last 2.5 hours, catching a little bit of a pop right now in this market. We got all of them. NASDAQ actually climbing as well. Dow up 67, Russell up 14 points right now. And let's check out some of those stocks that are reporting this week. So Tesla, tonight after the bell, as we talked about, continuing to rise, up about $11. We got Microsoft tomorrow, Microsoft shares. Right now, you're basically flat, 261. Quite the drop we had on Microsoft. Some of these tech stocks, if you do get a huge capital gains tax, the amount of profits that some people probably have off the lower levels we've gotten. I mean, you put a 3-year weekly on Microsoft. You don't have to go back far, just the beginning of 2019, and you're up 150% in this equity, let alone if you've had a substantial long-term position. Amazon shares, you were just at 1,300. You're trading at 33.40. Amazon putting it back on a daily and even a 15-minute. Amazon shares right now up a bit, I mean, look at not too large of a sell-off in Amazon when you think about the run it has had recently. You go from 3,370 down to 3,300. Not a big pullback. Not a lot of sellers in this equity in Amazon. And you look at Amazon, we're really coming into things. We're right in the upper boundary of this consolidation. Amazon's out with their numbers on Thursday. We get Google out with their numbers on Tuesday. Google, we're going to basically open at all-time highs. Friday, we make an all-time high of 23.25 this morning. We're trading basically flat at 23.13. Google is just so strong right now, almost stronger than all the other tech stocks. I mean, look at this. It's just been bumping up against this all-time high. Whoops, that's the market. Google, pretty serious, bumping new all-time high. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back for the opening bell.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
You could be making money off the stock market. And if you're already making money off the stock market, you could be making a lot more. Check out TFNN and Tiger TV and get expert investing advice to give you the power to control your financial future. Go to TFNN.com and find the newsletter for you. Whether you're into trading gold, metals, futures, currencies, or options, you'll get advice and analysis to help you seriously get ahead. TFNN also features trading services with a 30-day money-back guarantee for new subscribers, as well as TFNN's Tiger Den trading room, trading software, and educational webinars for all trading levels. And make sure you check out Tiger TV for free on TFNN.com or TFNN's YouTube channel for live financial content from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern on market days. Stop watching on the sidelines while other people get rich and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got markets open and we got markets continuing to accelerate higher. S&P's now up 7 points. We got the tech stocks, NASDAQ 100 surging. We're in positive territory, up 12 points at 13,938. The Dow up 53, right at about 34,000 right now. You take a look at where we are in the cash. And are we there yet? Let me check it out. Where are we? Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, 34,101 in the cash. Quite a number in the Dow right now. The S&P's cash-wise 4188. The Nasdaq is up 38 points at 14,055. Bitcoin up an even $3,000 at 53,870. Continuing to climb for Bitcoin. We got gold up $1. Look at that pop from 1779. And we'll take a look at notes and bonds. Basically flat, but we're catching a little bit of a bid right now as we have the 10-year at 1.565%. All right, jumping over to Apple. Apple shares up about 0.5% at 134.92. Apple, talk about spending some cashola. They got plenty of cash to spend, and they're going to do it. They're going to spend $1 billion on the campus in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's going to employ 3,000 people working on technology like software engineering and machine learning. How about $1 million for every 3 employees? That is quite a spend. Whoever the 3,000 people are working at that $1 billion campus, that's probably going to be a pretty cool campus, spending $1 billion on a campus that's only working with 3,000 people. Something tells me they're going to be spending a lot of that cashola on technology for those employees with the most up-to-date technology out there. It's a sign of Apple's continued expansion beyond its headquarters in Cupertino, California, where most of its engineering has been based. The $1 billion campus in Austin, Texas, is expected to open next year. The expansion is going to be located in North Carolina's Research Triangle area, which gets its name from nearby North Carolina State, Duke, UNC. Apple CEO and CEO have MBAs from Duke, so you got a little bit of allegiance there to the area. And the senior vice president, who's in charge of the company's online services, graduating from Duke. So they get a little bit of Duke going on there for Apple, but quite a price tag when you think about really remarkable, $1 million for every 3 employees. But when you're talking about they're going to be focusing on software engineering and machine learning, not an inexpensive area to get into. All right, let's jump around to some of the Oscars. So Netflix, they snagged 7 awards at the Oscars last night, nearly doubling its all-time Oscars tally. 7 Academy Awards, the most of any distributor. Mr. Rainey's Black Bottom, not familiar, and Mank won 2 awards each. They also awarded the Best Live-Action Short, Animated Short, and Best Documentary Feature out there. And I believe you had Best Picture, Nomadland wins Best Picture at the 93rd Academy Awards. So Nomadland, pretty sure that's a Disney movie as well, but let's check out some of those streaming stocks today coming off the Oscars. So Netflix shares basically flat right now. You see the drop on their earnings last week. Netflix drops from about 560 down to below 500. We're sitting at 505 on Netflix shares. Disney shares up about 0.6% at 184.16. We'll jump to the others. How about Viacom? Viacom continuing to a little bit of a pop off of the lows we had. Now this is involved in the Archegos saga. Maybe for the first time last week. You have a little bit of a bid in some of these stocks with Viacom, which is CBS, up to about 42. And that's Discovery, which they were also in, finally catching a little bit of a bid. Both of these companies catching a little bit of a bid off the bottom when it looks to be that maybe the selling from Credit Suisse and likes might be over. But, man, quite a haircut, $38. I talked both of those stocks. If you have been thinking about maybe getting into either of these equities, you could start with a little bit of a partial right here, folks. You can't get hurt getting into a partial when this thing was at 78. You're back to 38. You got to keep in mind, though, we're in the gambling business, all right? You can make positive expectation bets, but if you're getting in at 38, you better believe that in November, this thing was just traded at 19, half of that price. It was also just trading at 26 as recently as December 22nd. So pullbacks are possible, folks. Maybe even this breakout from the beginning of January, you were sitting at 30, right? It's not an insane bargain when you think that you're still getting in at almost 30% above where it started the year at. Okay, these are things you want to think about when you're getting in. Yeah, you're getting in at half the price of 78, but that was probably an inflated position when you had Mr. Huang leveraging up billions and billions of dollars from more demand in this equity. And pretty similar story when you look at Viacom. VIAC is their symbol. You're back to 42. You started the year at 36, so not quite as substantial. More than a 60% almost haircut from the highs we had for that company. But both of them, both strong companies. You have Viacom with their Paramount Plus going to be coming out. CBS, a ton to offer on there. And you got Discovery. And full disclosure, I have some exposure to both of these equities now. but I do for a reason, only in the recent past as well, to take a little bit of a position to look for an acceleration. Discovery's got a good thing going on with their Discovery streaming product as well, in a big way. All right, markets continuing to climb. We get the S&Ps up about 9 points right now, 41.81. We're within 5 points of all-time highs as we come into basically 3 of the most important days of earnings event in the next 72 hours, folks. Be interesting in terms of defining where this market trends. You take a look at the NASDAQ 100, right near the highs we had back in February. We're sitting at 13,927. This market might be waiting for some earnings to see if we're going to trade higher or lower from that price point on the NASDAQ. All right, what else we got going on? What other stories I got up here? We talked about the Fed, their meetings. How about tying it to Bitcoin? So we talked about, I believe it was on Friday, that a huge Turkey crypto exchange had gone, basically the CEO was being manhunted because there was potentially billions of dollars in fraud. Now we have a second Bitcoin exchange collapsing in Turkey amid a crackdown on cryptocurrencies. Huge inflation going on in Turkey. Many Turks turning to crypto to retain their buying power, and it turns out, unfortunately, some of those crypto exchanges not on the up and up. And it looks like the one we covered about on Friday was about $2 billion, and the platform Vebitcoin said in a briefing that it had ceased all activities, faced financial strain, and it would update the clients on the situation as soon as possible. This is why you got a company like Coinbase charging a premium price and getting it, because they lend a certain amount of credibility to an industry that is ripe with fraud. So they lended that credibility to it. They charged higher fees. People felt more reliable to leave their capital on Coinbase, even though you're still prone to risk in the crypto sector. And you have Coinbase. We're trading at 300. We were down to 277 as early last Friday. And we're talking about a market cap. Jump over to the fundamentals under the Analyze tab. We're talking about 67 billion. Where are we? $60 billion currently, the market cap for that exchange, Coinbase. All right. Yeah, the EU, interesting to see how the battle over vaccines continues to play out. So the EU is launching legal action against AstraZeneca due to vaccine shortages. AstraZeneca said it could not deliver as many vaccines as the bloc was counting on. It's delayed the rollout. Huge stakes, no bigger stakes, right, than that. And AstraZeneca, what is that? Are they AZN, I believe is their symbol. There you go. So they're a little bit lower today, down about 0.3%. You take a look at this chart, though. It's been shopping around to lower prices, lower lows, lower highs across the board, right? All the way back, basically, from where we were in September. You make a low of 50, you make a low of 48, you make a low of 46. You make a high of 58, you make a high of 54, you make a high of 53. Let's see, that thing may be trending lower. Continue from that run. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back. Give us a call. Still time to chat. 877-927-6648. Be right back.
Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. All right, we're going to take a look at some of these tech stocks that we can't focus on them enough when we have quite a week coming up. So we get Tesla after the bell tonight. Tesla surging higher. We're up 2.2% today already. We'll put this thing on a daily. The rise to 900. You had a rise from, look at that run, from 400 in November. The run really began, if you recall, in August. They come out with their earnings in July. That is the day, August, where they announced an impending stock split. All these numbers, of course, post-stock split number. You really run up. The news breaks in November that you're getting added to your Tesla's getting added to the S&P 500. So we have two runs here. The first run begins with the news that they're going to be stock splitting. That news having nothing to do with the fundamentals of the company. The next news comes that they are added to the S&P 500. Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the fundamentals of the company. It has a substantial amount to do with the amount of demand that is going to be forced to be in this equity. You trade from 412 up to 900 in January. You then dip all the way back down to 540. We have Tesla now up $200 from that. And to take a look at, just out of curiosity, the full bounce we've now gotten. All right, you take this full run. We're talking about pretty close to the 618. We got up to that level. That's 762. We got up to that level. These are dailies we're looking at. So briefly above that level on April 14th. That's an area you might see a little bit of resistance. It also correlates to the gap that we had going back to February 19th to 22nd over the weekend. And we got Tesla earnings after the bell. And as we talked about, Tesla price stand about a $50 move on their earnings right now. Tesla at this market cap value, at this price, I should say, $715 billion company. Tesla. Okay, on Tuesday, we jump to Microsoft. Microsoft shares, no pullbacks to speak of on this chart, and I say that half kidding, but pretty much true. You put it on a 3-year weekly, you had the COVID pullback from about 190 down to 140, but man, this thing has just been a rocket ship from 120 to 260. You could start lining up some Fibonacci retracement levels on this, but really it's just been a one-way rocket ship. I mean, let's just even see if you go back to a 5-year weekly. It's still a one-way rocket ship. From 48, we had a slight pullback towards the end of 2018. You had your COVID pullback as well. If we zoom in the action, this is a weekly chart we're looking at on Microsoft. I mean, just going back to the COVID lows, not just. But you start talking about Fibonacci retracement levels off the COVID lows, and it's a substantial pullback. Microsoft, I do have some Microsoft just for retirement long term. Super strong company in the long term. Yeah, you could definitely see some volatility, folks, in a big way in terms of how far we've already traded higher in terms of the expectations. They have a lot to prove on their numbers to live up to the valuations you're talking about on some of these tech stocks in terms of where we traded. You take a look at the market cap when you talk about Microsoft. You're talking about a company that's just shy of $2 trillion now. Just shy. I mean, we might get there today if this thing continues higher. We're up about 0.1%. We just made an all-time high in Microsoft right now at 262.44, and we might see the second $2 trillion company come out. Apple shares. Now, Apple, again, is on Wednesday. We're going to talk about Google. So Microsoft's Tuesday, Apple's on Wednesday, but just for some comparison, Apple right now is talking about a $2.2 trillion company, 2.25 to be exact. Microsoft hot on the heels. Depending how earnings go with both of these companies, you could see Microsoft become the most valuable company in the world this week. Google comes out on Tuesday. Now, Google, they've been making up some room as well. Google still, though, only at about $1.56 trillion, far behind. But same thing with Microsoft. I mean, you can't find the beginning of the trend because it just has been trending the whole time. I mean, you talk about, if you want to, some pretty scary levels if you look about the pullback, and I don't see that happening, folks. These stocks, the tech stocks, they are just strength across the board in a big way. But you got Google. So Google's looking at about a $90 move pricing into their event on Tuesday. You take a look at the weekly. These are just hypotheticals. Weekly, you're talking about a $105 move priced in. So decent amount of move. Maybe that's 4%, just over 4%, between about a 4% and 5% move on Google earnings coming out on Tuesday. Let's take a look at a couple other stocks. And thanks to our man Z-Man in the den posting all of these. Folks, if you haven't tried out the Tiger's Den, it's a great time to do it. Head on over to the front page of TFNN. Under services, you'll find the Tiger's Den. You can get in there for free for 30 days. Great week to do it with all the tech stocks coming out with their numbers. We also get Starbucks and Visa on Tuesday. All right, let's take a look at these two. Starbucks, talk about an acceleration as well. Starbucks, big acceleration from 150 to 120. Big, not really the best English language use, but a large acceleration off those lows. And yeah, you're talking about, just out of curiosity here, Starbucks shares, want to see what kind of a market cap. $136 billion company. Now, this company, you put this thing just on even a 5-year weekly. Look at that run. We made a high of 90 about back in 2019. Chopped around in there a bit with support before really accelerating from 100 basically to 119. We're coming in on their numbers, and we're talking about pretty much a 4% move for Starbucks earnings on their numbers. Visa comes out with their numbers on Tuesday as well, pricing in, that's like about a 3 to 4% move. Visa shares, back it up on a 5-year weekly. Strong numbers in a big way. We put this thing back to a daily, and we've kind of been just higher highs and higher lows, right? We got a high there of about 217. And that's going all the way back to November. We got a high to start the year of about 219. We got a high of 228 in March, and we're pushing 232 and higher lows as well. You see it, whether you back it up to March, you back it up to the lows of January, you back it up to the lows of October. Higher highs, higher lows. That's what you like to see in a stock you're going to be in, folks. Visa out with their numbers on Tuesday as well. And we get AMD. Another big one to the chip sector, AMD, they'll be out with their numbers on Tuesday. AMD, about a $5 move priced in. You pull up all the option chains, about a $6 move for the weekly on AMD shares with their earnings. And then let's check out Facebook. So this is going to be interesting. You get the battle going on between Facebook and Apple, right? Apple's going to be limiting the amount of information and tracking that Facebook can be doing on phones. And I love this idea. As an iPhone user, I think Facebook is going to face a real substantial battle trying to shift public perception as they can. You know, how do you convince a society it's great if Mark Zuckerberg's able to track you all for your user experience? I don't think that's a winnable public relations battle that they're going to get into. And it'd be interesting to see how this trades over the coming year or so, because Facebook's got a lot of optimism built into it. You trade from 140 at the lows to 315. Prior to COVID, you were basically sitting at 200, right? You made it up to 220. So this thing's risen 50% since the beginning of COVID. We're spending more time online. Facebook pricing in about a $15 move for their earnings event on Wednesday. You're talking about a $17 move for the week of options. And we'll see how that plays out, because I imagine that that's going to be a critical level. You see the consolidation Facebook had, whether it was all the way from July to March, accelerated over that consolidation, and Facebook has their numbers coming out on Wednesday as well. All right, folks, stay tuned. We're going to come back. We'll take a look at Amazon. To wrap things up when we come back, the big dog, Amazon, out with their earnings on Thursday. Jumping back to a daily, we got the S&Ps up 10 points. NASDAQ slightly in the red now. NASDAQ 100 off 4 points. The Dow up 80. Russell up 18 points. Russell continuing to hold up relatively well right now. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Markets can rise and fall like the tides. Subscribe to Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, and you too can ride the wave. Basil Chapman is an authority in technical analysis. His Chapman Wave trading system has been helping traders identify trends and capitalize on momentum in the markets since 1984. TFNN invites you to test Basil's proprietary Chapman Wave trading methodology with a monthly subscription to the Opening Call newsletter for only $149. Your subscription to the Opening Call comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as daily market updates on key indexes, stocks, and commodities. Ride the wave. Sign up for the Opening Call risk-free today.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We got S&Ps positive by 6, NASDAQ 100 slightly in the red, the only index in the red right now. We're at Amazon. You have Amazon earnings. Amazon coming out with their numbers on Thursday. $121 move priced into that event. The weekly options right now pricing in about $150 move. So give or take just shy of about a 5% move in either direction on Amazon with their numbers. We're bumping right up against this upper boundary line on Amazon. 3,400, pretty defined area. You look, 3,300, nice round number. 3,400, the upper boundary. We made it to 35.52. We've been in this area since the beginning of July. It's about to be May. You're talking about 10 months of consolidation. That's an argument that could be made for higher prices, folks. You back it up to the 3-year weekly. You see the consolidation we had prior. You put it on a 5-year weekly even. That's what Amazon likes to do, right? We accelerated from under 1,000 to 2,000, chopped around basically for a better part of more than a year until we had the COVID lows at about 16. Yeah, 16.26. We're now almost double that price on Amazon. Jumping to the Analyze tab, though, getting into the fundamentals. Again, Thinkorswim, they are a sponsor, folks. I know I'm biased, but I use the product. I would anyway. I encourage you, if you haven't tried the demo account, head on over to the front page of TFNN, click on the banner, download the Thinkorswim platform. This is a great week to do it. You can follow along with the team at Fast Market, 11 a.m. Eastern time every day. This is just the fundamentals on the Analyze tab, let alone everything else. You have all of their fundamentals in here. What I wanted to get to is look at the breakup. Amazon Web Services, right? A part of that company that most people who are not in the market don't even understand the dramatic impact on a company like Amazon. 46.3% percentage of market cap, this is estimating. Amazon North America, 33%. Internationally, you're talking about 18%. Add it all up, you're pretty close to 100%. But Amazon Web Services, the web, the cloud, that's what it's all about, folks. We'll see what Amazon does today in terms of, is this the end of the consolidation, or are we going to trade back down to the lower boundary line, potentially at about 3,000 on Amazon? We found out on Thursday, and everything starts today with Tesla. Tesla shares right now up about 1.1%. We got about $18 trillion worth of market capitalization of companies reporting this week. Stay tuned, folks. Basil Chapman's coming up next with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Fast Market at 11. Larry Pezzamento, noon Eastern time. Steve Rose, Dave White, all this afternoon. Thanks so much for tuning in. Start the day with me, folks. Stay tuned. We got live programming all day at TFNN. Right back.